Again, this is Alan, the Amway guy, 23 years. This, again, I'm going to try and give you some perspective here on how you can move ahead in life in whatever you do, and if you utilise this as your medium of making some money and getting some time with Janess, then great. But I'll tell you what happened when I first got started in multi-level marketing, and that was in the Amway business. I had a guy come down, he sat in front of me, showed me the plan, and that was fine. I didn't understand it. You probably wouldn't understand maybe Janess maybe at the start. But we made a list of goals. He said, look, I want you to write down 10 things that you would love to have if you had unlimited time and money. And it was like, where's he going with this? It was so strange. I listed those things down. One of them was financial independence. I mean, he asked me, what would that mean to you? I said, I don't know, what do you mean? He said, how much money would be financial independence? I said, well, $100,000 a year I thought was pretty good. And he went through all the rest of the things. Many of those things, a place in Donvale, and we wrote them all down. We were living out in the boonies out near Lilydale at that point. So once we had listed those down, he got me started. He said, well, what's your first activity goal? So we won't go through that because we haven't got all day today, only a few minutes. But in listing those things, I got started, I engaged, I was frightened, I didn't know what to do. He just guided me. It's just like Benny now today, as he's helping me back into multi-level again, because I've been out of it for like 6 years now. But I reckon I can have another crack at this, because this is really easy, this one. So once we had those things down, I got started, and guess what? 5 years later, he said, look, it's going to take 2 to 5 years. 5 years later, we were living in that acre, Donvale, swimming pool, tennis court. We used to look at them every Sunday. Those things happened. It just was like $25,000 a year. Just push the throttle forward to $400,000 a year. Pretty good for an electrician, come motorcycle kind of guy, so selling motorcycles in a shop. So same thing here today. Benny called me. He said, hey, you want to meet for lunch? I want to take a video. And anyhow, so I thought, out of curiosity, I met with him. He said, look, I want to meet down the beach. And I said, why is that? And he said, well, I want to live near the beach, so let's meet at the beach. So we went to a restaurant there at the beach. We talked about things, where he was going and what he was doing. And the fact is that he'd also spent a long time in the same business. So he started me off. He said, well, what's your first goal and what's your second? We kind of started mapping those things out. I can tell you right now, my first goal would be a GoPro camera. I mean, how good are those things? You can strap them on your helmet. I mean, I recently went really, really fast on a Suzuki 1300, but we won't talk about this because, you know how it goes. But if I had a GoPro camera, it would have been sensational. Just videoing the speed on it. I mean, I've got to have one of those. How trick are they? I want to get the thing with the stick, get it all, because you're creating such memories, such a leave behind. If you want to imagine your kids going through those in 20 years' time. Look at Dad, look, it's crazy. That's because I've got 7 kids, so plenty of videos for them. But you've got to have a goal. You've got to start with something, and it can be small, and then build that up, and eventually you'll have the big things. But you've got to reward yourself. Your subconscious wants to be fed, or wants to be engaged in those things that's excited you to go ahead and send out those videos. Get back to those people. If it resonates with them, they get started. You get your goal, you get your GoPro, you get your house, you get your car. And as I said to plenty of my friends, they all laughed at me when I first got started in Amway, but I went to Hawaii 26 times. Well, that's how many times I've been to Hawaii. I don't know how many places I've been to around the world, but that all comes from that initial sit down, work out what you want. And Benny's helped me do this today, and I'm up and running. And we'll see you on the beaches. Thank you.